Hello, brothers and sisters. This is your friend Bill Hazelwood. I'm really looking forward to another episode of Duke Loves Wrestling with you guys in a few weeks. But for now, you can go on over to YouTube and punch in Born Southern Podcast. I just finished a great show with those fellas, and it was outstanding. And in case you didn't know, the host of the podcast, Mike Long, is an ex-pro wrestler. So he tells a great behind-the-scenes story of a wrestling legend that will really touch your heart. But for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy, because remember, Duke always delivers.
Devon the Duke, bring the heat. Wrestling tales knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never felt this great. Tables, ladders, chairs, they tell it all. From the highest highs to the lowest fall. Grit and glory tales from the ring. Every chant, every cheer they'll bring. Devon and the Duke, bring the heat. Wrestling tales knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never felt this great.
Brothers and sisters, welcome back. Welcome back to the pre-WrestleMania edition of the three-time award-winning podcast, Devon and the Duke. This is a limited edition series hosted by your main man, Duke Loves Wrestling, and of course, the five-time Hall of Famer, the intellectual himself, Brother Devon Dudley. What's going on there, brother?
What's going on, dude? Glad to be back on the show right before WrestleMania. I want all you dirt sheet writers that are listening, they're trying to catch me. Make sure you get your pens and paper ready, and make sure you jot down every word I say and try to get me.
Listen, you go and take over for Lanny Poffo now. You're the new genius now, all right?
Oh, God. God rest his soul, man. God, he was a good guy when I met him. I liked him a lot. He was really cool.
He's
really cool,
great
man.
guy. Great
Really
guy.
cool.
And you know what? That's how he really was, right? That wasn't just a gimmick. He was really that guy.
No, he was really that guy. He was a genius, man.
Yeah.
Anybody
yeah.
that knew him can tell you. You know, and the thing about it is you should have known something about him like that because of the way he spoke and how he handled himself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you'll love this when I say it. I grew up on leaping Lanny Poffo, you know?
Right.
Before
Yep.
the genius. I grew up on leaping Lanny Poffo.
Oh, yeah, so did I. I remember when he was in WWE before he was the genius.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
when he was doing it, he was enhancement talent.
Exactly. And he wrestled for ICW
Okay.
and did a lot of shots in Boston. So that's what I remember him from way before just WWF. He was doing that, you know?
You see, I didn't know anything. The only companies I knew outside of WWF was NWA.
Yep.
Because, you know, in Brooklyn, we didn't have cable. We didn't have any of that. I wasn't smart. I didn't have friends that, you know, enjoyed the business that would tell me about, you know, certain things, you know, inside the wrestling business or anything. I didn't have those friends. So to me, that was all I knew. You know, WWF and NWA, that's all I knew.
Yeah, I hear you. It's crazy, though, because New York, like, did you not get channels outside of New York? You must have been
We
really
did.
deep inland. Okay.
Well, remember I was in Brooklyn, so
Yep.
we did. Even when you had that black and white TV or even the color TV, the big one that you put the new TV on top of, that weighed 900 pounds that sat on the bottom. They had that thing which you call U channel. You know, you would have the 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever, 10, and then you had the second knob on the bottom, and you would go to U, and then you would get 44 to 80 something. But they were all snow channels. In other words, you saw nothing but snow, and you didn't see, you know, channels clear. So even when there was, you know, some stations that came through, it was still snowy. There's still a lot of snow about it.
Yep. You're bringing me back with that, man. You know,
I think
that
I'm bringing
U
back
was-
everybody.
Right? That U was UHF, right? Isn't that what that stood for?
That was UHF. Yep.
Yeah. Ultra high frequency.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Weird Al Yankovic. Weird Al did a movie about that.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling
that was
my
late
age.
80s. Well, the fact that I remember, I'm telling my age.
Yeah. But there's a lot of our listeners that can relate as well. So,
Yep.
it was a
Yep.
great time back then, man.
Yeah, man. I miss it. I miss it. I listen, I don't miss everything, but I look at our generation today, and with the social media, something interesting is happening in Boston right now and in Massachusetts as a whole, where they're trying to ban social media and make it age restricted. So ban it for kids. You got to be a certain age before you're allowed to have it and use it and stuff like that. And it's because a lot of these kids are falling into depression and fighting each other more and stuff like that because of what's happening amongst them on social media. And these are
Right.
kids, their brain is not fully developed, so you can't necessarily blame them for the mistakes that they make and stuff like that. But you do have to protect them, as we have to protect them as adults. I say that to say we didn't have that problem. You know
No,
what
we
I
didn't.
mean? Growing up, we had other problems, but we didn't have that problem.
Listen, back
So
then, the problems that we did have, if we would only know what the world was going to be today, we wouldn't have
yeah,
complained about the problems of yesterday. Even as a
nope.
kid, listen, I was worried about going home and the teacher calling home before I got there, and the Rev, my mom, finding out what I did. And believe me, she didn't believe in sparing the rod. I, t- I tell my mother all the time, I go, the beatings that you gave me, if I was to take you to court right now, you would still be locked up. And she goes, boy, look at you now, though. I was like, yeah, Ma,
Yeah,
I'll give it to you. I said, I don't regret anything you said or did because I did the twins like that the same way.
yeah.
The twins had it rough. Terrence and Terrell, they had it rough, because exactly what my mother did to me and my grandmother, I did it to them. Now Matthew came along, the third child. He was a little softer, I didn't do to him. And Terrence and Terrell used to take him and put him in the back of a garbage can and leave
Oh
him there.
no,
Oh yeah, poor Matthew. Poor Matthew. I told him, I said, you wait, one day that boy gonna get older, he gonna whoop both of y'all asses.
I
You
was
wait.
going to say he gonna wait for it, but he gonna get y'all.
And let me tell you, he's 24 years old now. He's a big boy.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
big boy
he
now.
is. Is he the tallest one?
Yeah, I think he is out of
He
all of them.
is. Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
but
I've seen.
Pres-
Yeah, he's a
yeah,
big boy.
but Preston, the one that wants nothing to do with this business, thank God. He's into cars and basketball and all of that. He's tall too. He's getting there. He's always want to size us up. Stand next to
Uh-oh.
us and talking about I'm taller than y'all. And this and that. He's at that point. That's what kids do.
Yeah.
When everybody else is taller than them, and they got to feel like, hey, I'm going to be taller than you soon. You watch.
Listen. You got to give him the Heathcliff Huxtable speech, though. I brought you in this world. I'll take you out. You got to
Listen,
give him.
funny story about that. I was living in Long Island, like I've always said, and I said on Glad TV. I was in Long Island living with my aunt and uncle. And this is when the Cosby Show first came on, '84. And that scene came up where he said to Theo, I brought you into this world and I'll take you out. And at that age, I was like 12. I didn't really know, what it meant. I just hear things and just repeat it because I thought it was cool. So the dog was sitting there and he was barking and it was their dog. So I was like, listen, hush. I brought you into this world. I'll take you out. My uncle looked at me and was like, what the hell? And at first I didn't think I said anything wrong. But when he kept looking at me, I was like, I think I said something wrong.
He probably was like, this boy's going to be something else.
Yeah, he probably said that. But he was the uncle. He was the uncle too, jokingly, that would always tease me about pro wrestling. Oh boy, that stuff ain't real. Oh please. Him and my Uncle Alan, they would always tease me about it. But once I made it, they realized,
I bet they couldn't wait to get tickets too. Come on now.
No, they weren't wrestling fans like that.
Oh.
Yeah, no, they weren't wrestling fans. Even when I made it, they weren't wrestling. They never came and saw me.
That's crazy.
They never were wrestling fans. And I didn't take it hard because I knew they weren't wrestling fans. So it wasn't a big deal for me.
But they missed out, man. I mean, all that you accomplished, just to if they would have showed up one time, I bet that would have changed them.
It probably would have. But remember, they were born 1930s and 20s. So their projection on wrestling wasn't like it is today.
Yeah,
totally
true.
different.
True. I'll tell you something, man. I just last week I had the 10-year anniversary of Duke Loves Wrestling, so the official anniversary special, and Goldberg was on for about 20 minutes, and we were talking about everything but wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really the first interview that Bill did where he felt comfortable enough, quite frankly, to open up about his values and his life. He talked about his family, his parents, his son, his wife, all that. But he talked about his faith. And, you know, he never really publicly went as far as he did talking about being a Jewish man, not just being born Jewish, but legitimately he's a practicing Jew. Like he it's his religion, it's his culture, and the way that he portrays himself is so that he can help change the perception of what you think about when you think of the average Jewish person. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? You don't think about an ass kicker and a guy who will walk through fire and go beat you up and all that stuff. So he said, no, that was all on purpose. I wanted the world to view us differently. And I bring that up for this reason. You and I have so many conversations like that where we've really tapped into what are the values of Devon Dudley and what matters to you outside of wrestling, including like what you just talked about. You talked about your uncles and you know, you talk about your mom disciplining you and growing up in Brooklyn, the TV channels. It's so interesting that even though technically this is a wrestling show, I guess, but we talk about life so much and people just eat it up. They love it, man.
Mm-hmm.
They
Because it's
love
different.
it. It's
Mm-hmm.
different. It's different. You know,
And it's
respect.
relatable.
Well, that's too. Yeah, exactly.
And you got to, and I understand too that not only is it relatable, but think about it. We're talking about things that they're familiar with. That like I said, when we talk about the big TV on the floor with the
Oof.
with the small color TV on top of it, and that TV on the bottom weighed 900 pounds with the big tube in the back. There's people out there that remember that and be like, yeah, I remember that. It is what it is, but they remember it and they can
Yeah.
relate to it. And so you're not just Devon Dudley, the wrestler. You're not just Bill Goldberg. You are somebody that's just like them.
And that's it. That's exactly it. It's like, you know, you guys are now, you don't have to kayfabe everything anymore. You know, you can show this side of you
Mm-hmm.
and develop the fans in a different way where it's like, hey, I actually enjoy listening to Devon talk about his life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't just want to see him go through a table or put somebody through a table. Like I want to hear what's the latest adventures with the kids. You know,
Right.
it's interesting. Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's good stuff there. Speaking of which, you're getting ready for WrestleMania week. You're flying out in less than 24 hours.
Yes.
So talk to me, man. I mean, outside of the show, everyone's going to beat that to death. I want to see this match. I want to see that match. Yeah. I get that. I want to hear about what you're looking most forward to in terms of this journey where you're going to Vegas. A lot of folks from the industry, from young and old and in between, are going to be there. Fans going to be there. What is Devon Dudley looking forward to the most for this week?
Well, I'm looking forward to getting on that plane, getting ready to go down there and meet with Brock Lesnar and help him beat Oba.
Now you know
But see,
you
brought
you
out
out
the
of
giant
control
in me,
now. You
so
know
now
that,
I'm gonna
right?
have to help Brock Lesnar do that. Now I'm gonna have to be the surprise guest for Brock Lesnar. What do you think?
I don't know what you're talking right now, man, but this is not the video game, okay? This is real life. You talking about a shot put legend in Oba Femi. He picked up Brock Lesnar and threw him. What is he going to do to you if you try to step in that ring?
Well, I'm gonna have to dodge and weave and do all of that stuff. But I'm gonna take him out about his legs, let Brock take him, and this and that. No, no, dirt sheet writers. I'm just joking. Don't trend. I'm just joking. If you put that out there, they're gonna read this. They're gonna listen to the show and read the content and know that you're full of shit. So don't put that out there. It was a joke.
You can
My
listen. They
50-year-old
got
ass.
big news. Devon Dudley added to WrestleMania match.
Shit. Nah, I ain't getting with that. Not with those two big powerhouses.
Listen,
No, but I am getting ready. I'm intrigued by that match. I can't wait to
yeah,
see it. I can't wait to see what they
yeah.
got to offer. Brock did make an announcement that he was on his way out. In other words, that he's ready to wrap it up a little bit, because he's getting to that point in his life where I guess he just wants to spend time with his family, and the kids are getting big. And, you hear a lot about his daughter in social media now that, she's a discus thrower and all of that. I believe she is. And, he wants to be a part of that. So he doesn't want to really be on the road anymore. And I completely understand that. Having kids when you're in this business is rough. You don't want to miss the boat and not having kids, because your career, but it's rough because you're always on the road.
And at this point, what could he accomplish at this point? He's done it all.
He really has.
He's done it all. He's done it all. You can't get any bigger than Brock Lesnar at this point. So that's
and
okay.
If Oba is the guy to take Brock's place, then what a great person to take his place. I mean, he's really showing what he can do. I'm a big fan of Oba. Oba, go ahead.
Well, and a classy guy too, right? He's a compliment to the business, really, with the way he carries himself.
I remember during the pandemic, he came down to my wrestling school a couple of times because, they weren't having anybody at the PC at the time because of, COVID and things like that. So he came down and trained a couple of times, a complete gentleman and very athletic. And I was scared he was going to break my ring. He was so damn big. He was like, Devon. He's like, Devon, how did I do it? You want to see it again? I go, no. I go, you're okay. You're good. You don't have to do it again. Nope, you're good. Nope.
That's an interesting thing. Let me ask you this, and not to veer off too much, but when it comes to the repairs to the ring, because you got a wrestling school, so you're responsible for all that yourself.
Yes.
How much of a hit is that to the pockets?
I mean, it can be, but I have a guy named Bob Rosen who used to be a TNA guy, fixing their rings, building rings, this and that. I was the one that brought him into the business. So whenever I need a hand on fixing the ring, he comes in and does it. So he's not that, So me and Bob, and he's always credited me for helping him get in the business and get his foot in the door because I got him a job with TNA, and that's how he got started. I mean, he was doing independent stuff, but I basically got him in there with TNA, and it just started from there. Now he's with AEW.
Well, Bob Rosen is considered legitimately the most trusted ring guy around today.
Yes.
He's the man. He's the man, especially when it comes to keeping a ring maintained. There's no question Bob Rosen's the man. Wow.
And he's on
Look
it.
at that.
Yeah, so I was the one that actually got him his job and helped him. He always credits me too. If they ask him to do an interview, he'll always put me and Bubba on and, say how much we helped him get into TNA and things like that. He's a good guy.
That's interesting. Breaking news there, folks. That's a big deal. Wow. So what was he doing before you got him in? Was he just like a landscaper or a carpenter or something?
He was doing fencing. He would, put the fences around people's houses, but he would also do independent shows. He would help them with their rings.
Got it.
That was like back in 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. Maybe even 2008. Because it was right around the time I had my smoothie restaurant.
You done messed up now.
Why is that?
I never knew about this. What do you mean
that's on my
smoothie
Wikipedia.
restaurant?
Oh, yeah, it's on my Wikipedia. It was called 3D Power Blends.
So hold on. Back up for a second, because I remember when you were doing your 3 and 4 days preparing for your last match, and you were telling you gave your Smoothie King recipe, what you order, and you're getting this blast and that blast and this and that, and I'm like, Jesus, what kind of science experiment is this man drinking? I never knew you were an actual expert at this, because not just as a consumer, but you actually owned a smoothie business.
Well, I used to like to say my motto was, I'm the Vince McMahon of smoothies, because that's how good my smoothies were. We did great business. We really did. It was a really good thing. But what happened was the gym next door to me, who I joined forces with, left abruptly and didn't tell me they were leaving. And that was my main source. I would get people outside of the gym as well because of the fact of, the name Devon Dudley 3D Power Blends. But when the gym closed down, the smoothie restaurant closed down because of the fact that I really didn't get the clientele that I should have gotten.
Wow. So
Yeah,
were
it was
you,
unfortunate.
was this around the time when the smoothie bowls started becoming popular? Because remember, they started doing the acai bowls and you put the fruit in there and all that stuff. Were you guys doing that, or was it just the smoothie drinks?
It was smoothie drinks. We were putting, supplements inside and things like that. So that's why I knew so much about it when I was talking to you on the phone that day, and I knew what to put in my smoothie.
Wow. That is something else, man. Jeez. No wonder you be putting that leg behind your head and all that crazy stretching and stuff you do. And you over here all jacked up on these smoothies, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, those smoothies were great. I used to love it. And we opened up I'm sorry, not 19, in 2007. And unfortunately, we closed in the end of 2008 because of the
Wow.
gym not being there.
Oh man. Well, hey man,
Yeah,
you
it
never
broke my
know.
heart to close that too. It really did.
You better get those high powered blenders back out, man. You might have to make a comeback on that.
Well, let
You
me put
know,
it this way: if there's an investor out there that wants to do it, I'm willing to do it. But it's got to be in Melbourne, Florida.
there's a challenge. It's laid out, folks. If you want Devon Dudley to be your partner in the smoothie business, you need to reach out. Let's figure it out. There it is. Wow.
Absolutely, get in touch with Duke, and he'll get in touch with me, and we'll go from there.
I love it. I love it. I'm pretty sure some folks are going to be reaching out because smoothies are big, man. They definitely are big right now. Again, the smoothie bowls, where instead of drinking it, you can eat it. That's all the rave, especially down here. That's all the rave, man. Wow, that's something
Oh
else.
yeah.
Okay, so again, you're going down to WrestleMania. You're going to do all the meet and greets and conventions and all that good stuff there. What else is there to do now that you're not wrestling? What else is there to do during a week like this, bro? I mean, are you sightseeing at all? Are you hitting up any restaurants? Like, what are you going to be doing?
Well, I'm definitely gonna visit Planet Hollywood out there in Vegas. That's one of the
Yep.
places. My cousin Annette Eggle used to who lives out there in Vegas. She was my heart and soul. She was like my sister more than my cousin. That's my grandmother's sister's daughter, and I spent so much time with her and her brother that we didn't really consider each other's cousins. We were like brother and sister, And at that time, my mother hadn't had more kids yet, so I was the only child. So it was cool spending time with them. I would leave Brooklyn on Friday sometimes before I started making my way to Long Island, like Huntington. I would leave Brooklyn Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, come back to Brooklyn and go to school. But they, her, my grandmother's sister and her husband really, really helped me out a lot. And I never forgot it. So whenever I came to Vegas, I made sure that I was with them. And the mom passed away. My Aunt Betty passed away, but my cousin's still out there. And we talk about old times, old stories about me shooting her in the eye with a bow and arrow when I was 10. you know, she never lets me forget that one. And I told her, I said it was an accident. She goes, it wasn't no accident. You clearly looked at me and said, watch yourself and let the arrow go. I said I did, but it slipped.
I don't know.
Oh my!
Hold on a second, Devon. Is this an episode of the Brady Bunch or Different Strokes? What? This is an '80s sitcom right there. I shot her in the eye with a bow and arrow.
Wait. It was like, what was it, Marsha? When Marsha got hit with the baseball or the football?
It was a football. Broke it, like it made her nose huge.
Broke her nose. Yeah. And she was getting ready for some date or some dance.
Yes. Oh my God. Jesus.
Never lets me live that down.
Well, how's her eye?
Well, she always says she's only got 20% in it, but I know that's a lie. I know that's a lie.
Listen, you better watch yourself. When you least expect it, she gonna come for one of yours. All right. I'm just warning you now, Devon.
40 years later, it might come. You get it when they least expect it.
An eye for an eye. Come on now. You know?
You gotta, but I told her, I said, listen, I'm too old for that shit now. So come on now. Be gentle with me. Don't hurt me.
Hey, Annette, if you're listening, I just want to let you know since this man wants to keep fixing me up with that egg sucking dog Ric Flair wannabe Cody Rhodes, he's trying to fix me into a shoot with him. After Oba dusts your cousin off, straightens him out, we'll bring you in the ring so you can go after that eye. I got you. I got your back in that.
You know what? That's a damn shame. You got her back, but you ain't never got mine. Boy, I hope Cody tears your ass up.
The way you said that, all I could think of is Hogan when he points when he's hulking up. You know when he's hulking up and then he gives you.
You brother. That's a running joke between me and Becky Lynch.
Oh really?
Yeah, because when I first came back, she introduced herself. It was great. We, talked for a little bit and this and that. And then one day I saw her at catering and she was they was giving her a promo, but she needed something to come up with. She was like, what should I say? I think it might have been a tagline or something like that. And she was like, I don't know what to say and this and that. She was asking people and she came to me and she was told, I was like, everything okay? She's like, yeah, I'm just trying to think of something for this promo. So I was like, how about you do it like Hogan? You, brother. And she was like, oh, she popped huge. And I think she might have used it. Ever since then, every time we see each other, she goes, you. I go, you. It's a running thing with me and Becky. It's a running thing, a running joke.
You know what I can't stand about Becky Lynch?
Oh, here we go.
I can't stand it about her. I was so annoyed with her during her feuds with Sasha Banks and her feuds with Charlotte Flair because I'm just a mark for those two. I love those two. And so I grew to not necessarily like Becky because of that. But I'll tell you, man, as time goes on, and especially over the last couple of years with her promos and just the way she's so ridiculous, man, I'm a fan of that lady. My God, I'm a fan of her. She turned me.
Oh, Becky's real cool. I love Becky a lot. She's really cool, down to earth, and very funny, and always cracking jokes. There's one joke she used to go around the locker room saying about Dublin, Ireland. I forgot what it was. I got it next time I want to get on the show. I'll call Becky and ask her. But it was funny. It was so bad that it was good. So when she would tell that same joke all the time, people would laugh and be like, Becky, that's horrible. She goes, I know, but you guys still laugh.
Didn't she go to clown school or something like that? She's like she has a degree in that stuff, right?
No, not clown. I don't believe it's clown. I think she went to acting or theater. I think it was theater she went to school for.
Got it.
I could be wrong, but I think it was. But I do believe it was theater.
Got it. She's a lot more talented than people may realize at first glance. Wrestling is just the beginning.
Oh yeah.
She's sharp, man. She's real sharp.
That she is.
That's funny. Shout out to Becky Lynch. And I'm going to let you know right now, Devon, I'm like 24% Irish, just so you know. I think it's my grandmother's grandmother was an Irish lady who lived in Jamaica. And it's crazy because throughout the years, my whole life, we celebrate all the Irish holidays and, my family's always been serious about it. I always assumed it was just because we're in Boston because, we're serious about our Irish roots here in Boston. So I'm just like, okay, I guess they just, this is a Boston thing. But it wasn't until I did the 23andMe and I talked to my grandmother about it. I was like, what? There's a lot of Irish in me. What is this? You know anything about that? And she was like, oh, yeah. And she told me the story. There are a lot of Irish people in Jamaica who settled there and raised families there. And they're Jamaicans, no question about it. And that's what's in our roots. You know what I mean? So if you listen closely to an Irish person talk, they definitely sound like they're speaking Jamaican patois. No question. The language on both sides have been adopted and integrated. They almost sound identical if you really listen closely. So, who knows? Becky could be my cousin. Who knows?
Could be. Could be. Just like Batista. Batista could really be my cousin. My great-great-grandmother is Filipino.
Oh.
Yeah, my great-great-grandmother is Filipino.
Wow.
Yeah, my great-grandfather, when he was overseas, he was in the service, and he met her there.
Wow.
My mother's...
Have you ever spoken to Dave about that?
Yeah, we did talk about it. Yeah,
Wow.
and I think he thought I was full of crap until he spoke to my mom. My mother said, "No, he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth."
I
Now
can
my
only
mother, my
imagine.
mother, now my mother met her. My mother met her, but I didn't. I
Oh,
didn't because my
got it.
mother, I never met my biological grandfather. The one I say is my grandfather that gave me the money to become a professional wrestler. He was my step grandfather, but he was my grandfather because he was the only grandfather I knew.
Mm.
And my mother's biological father, she never met him. He died he was in the he was in the service as well. He died before she was born, and he fell off the ship, hit his head, and then got a brain aneurysm in the hospital and passed away. But before he passed away, he told my grandmother that, if it's a girl, please name her Renee. And that's where my mother's name Renee came from. It came from my grandfather.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
my middle name, which is Edgar, comes from my grandfather because that was his name.
That's really cool. Wow.
Hmm.
That's really cool. Wow. That's some history. So wait a second. I can only imagine Dave. Here you are, Devon Dudley, big famous wrestler on his way to the Hall of Fame eventually. One of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time. And you saying, "Oh yeah, I got some Filipino in me too." And Dave is probably looking at you like, "What's this guy's problem?" like
Well,
what?
no, he didn't say that. He was just like, "Oh, really?" You got to know Dave and how he says things. And when he goes, "Oh, really?" I can see his expression on his face and him saying it. But he was like, I was like, "Yeah." I was like, when you meet my mom, you can ask her. And he met her and he asked her, and it was verified. So
That's funny. That's funny.
yeah.
I mean, you never know, man. When you really start looking back into your ancestral history, it's amazing. It's amazing what comes up. And what I find interesting is that there are things that you naturally are attracted to, and you don't know why. It's just the way it is. And then you come to find out, oh, that's actually part of my makeup.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's why I can relate to that so much. You
Yep.
know, that's interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So are there any? You said you're gonna be at Planet Hollywood. Is there anywhere else special in Vegas that you like to hit up?
Yeah, I'm gonna be at Comic Con. Not Comic Con, but the WrestleCon.
WrestleCon, of course.
Myself, Bubba, and Spike Dudley
Yep.
will be in attendance. So Spike will be there, and we're gonna have a good time signing autographs. It's never been done before. We get all three of us. So
The
and for you guys that go to the airports and ask for autographs, I'm not signing anything until Comic Con. So don't waste your time.
Yeah, yeah. If you're not at WrestleCon, you ain't getting it. So
Yep.
you know that's just the way it is. And listen, let me say something to some of those guys because you folks have been out of control, especially lately, stalking the wrestlers and giving them a hard time when they don't sign your autographs in those spaces. Listen, if when I show up for work, I show up for work, and when it's time to go home, it's time to go home. When I'm off, I'm off. I'm not on the clock. So don't be trying to ask me to work when I'm not on the clock. That's the way I look at it in my line of work. You can't be looking at these wrestlers and think that they got to be on 24/7, stop everything they're doing just to satisfy you. It's a business. And I'm not talking about the little kids, so don't misunderstand what I'm saying, folks. I'm talking to these grown ass men who feel entitled, who feel like that wrestlers owe you something. All you're trying to do is collect those autographs so you could sell it on eBay and what have you. You
Oh, I'm
buy a
not
damn
selling him on
ticket.
eBay. No, I'm not doing that, Devon.
Yeah,
No, I promise. I swear. I got a big
yeah,
collection in my room. Okay.
yeah, right. Yeah, right. You know, listen, buy a ticket, show up at WrestleCon, and if you can't do that, then too bad. Too bad. That's it. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know what else is ridiculous? Um, Pat McAfee, you owe me a check. You went on there, and you've done it over a course of a couple weeks now, and you've been cutting promos on Cody Rhodes, which I appreciate. You've been in his face, but you've been almost regurgitating what I say on this show word for word. And I know it upsets Devon because Devon's very close with Cody and he likes him and all that good stuff there. But Pat, I was the first person on the planet to point out that Cody Rhodes is a Ric Flair wannabe. So for you to go in front of the world and say it to his face, I appreciate that. But you could at least shout the Duke out. What's up with that? And I know Devon was pissed about it. And Devon's not going to watch an ESPN show anymore because you had the audacity to call Cody a Ric Flair wannabe, which Cody is, by the way. You know, trying to dress like Ric Flair and act like Ric Flair, but he will never be Ric Flair. We all know this. I'm just saying, give your boy a shout out when you let that egg sucking dog know what the real deal is, right, Devon?
You're now trying to get in with Pat. You're trying to get in good, and I see what you're doing.
Listen,
I see exactly what you're doing.
I want to live the good life too. What's going on here? You know,
Brother, work, brother.
Hey, you see that? You see that young man they done put with Trick Williams, Lil Yachty. You see how he's been tearing it up, man. Him and Trick Williams together, that is a dynamic duo I never knew we needed. But my God, it is so entertaining. And Yachty's a big rapper in his own right, you know, selling out stadiums and stuff. He's a big deal. But he's such a big wrestling fan. So they incorporated him. And he's been killing it. Like his timing on the mic and the way that he carries himself and what have you. That dude gets it, huh?
Well, you know, he's a wrestler. I mean, he's a rapper.
Yep.
And the timing of things like that is very similar. So it's not hard pressed to believe that he's doing what he's doing, you know? So hats off to Yachty, man. I mean, really good job.
Really good job. He's been my favorite celebrity recently. Obviously, Bad Bunny, love him and all that. And Sexy Red, I love what she's doing in NXT. Something with Yachty and Trick Williams. That, I mean, God, he just funny. It's like give them a buddy cop movie or something and put it on TV right now. I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
I bet you.
You know.
I bet you will. Anything against Cody, you would.
Well, listen. You know Cody Rhodes. He calls himself the Nightmare, but his daddy was the Dream. And I keep telling you, Devon, I keep telling you, there is never in the history of existence been a time where a nightmare is anything less than negative. It is a bad thing. So for him to call himself a bad thing, I'm going to call him a bad thing too. Cody Rhodes, you ain't nothing but a bad thing, brother. You hear me?
Why don't you finish out and go, you ain't nothing but a hound dog.
That's right.
Crying all the time. Why don't you go that route? You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
You know,
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Almost. I'm going to stay on him. He needs this tough love. I'm going to stay on him. You know, he needs to know. Please.
Listen, while you stay on Cody going to stay on your behind when he see you.
Hey, I'm a run. He can't run as fast as me. I'm sure of it. I'm gonna run away from him. Please. I don't want that smoke. Because I you know, he's one of them guys, and you see they keep stomping him out all the time. He's one of them guys, man, where he gonna just snap. He can't take it no more. Can't beat the guy up every week now. You know? Not every week.
It's called the build to WrestleMania. That's the way I look at it. It's the build to WrestleMania.
Yeah. That's what it is. And we're finally kicking it into high gear. A lot of folks are all worried.
I can't wait to go down there.
It doesn't feel like WrestleMania. And then over the past couple of weeks, everybody got to admit it's been hot. They're starting to fire on all cylinders. And yes, this is what WrestleMania week is supposed to feel like. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
I think we're all excited.
Yeah. You know, somebody was saying to me the other day, does it have to be 2 days, the actual event? And I said, well, it's more than 2 days. First of all, it's a whole week. But I like it because it allows me to truly just bask in my fandom as a wrestling fan, a lifelong wrestling fan. And you know, we all talk about what we liked from the past, and we're talking about what we want to see coming up at the show and all that stuff. But it's like, bro, what else do you want me to talk about? Do you want me to talk about Iran and what Trump is doing to them? Do you want me to talk about the economy and how bad it is? Like, what do you want me to talk about? Let me have
Please
my pro wrestling.
don't talk about Trump right now. I think a lot of people they don't want to go that route.
They don't want to go that route. They don't want to go that route.
A lot of people are not happy with Trump and the way things are going right now, especially with the war. So I'd love to stay away from that and just stay on pro wrestling.
Just stay on pro wrestling. It's like let us have our escape, please. Just let us have some fun, man, because there's a lot to cry about. So why don't we have something that we can laugh and feel good about? Please. You know?
Absolutely. Testify.
That's right. My brother. That's right. Because I'm going to have my spread, man. I'm thinking about Chinese food and wings and all this. I'm going to have my spread ready, Devon. I'm ready.
Listen, we're going from Trump to WrestleMania to TKO.
We all over the place. We all over the place, you know?
Absolutely.
Now, are you going to be playing the video game at all while you're down there in Vegas? Are you taking challengers and what have you? Because I'm sure there's somebody going to have it somewhere to play.
Well, if the opportunity is given, I'll do it. Remember, my daughter was teaching me, and you see what happens.
Xavier Woods, you've been ducking Devon Dudley for years now. Come on, come get your medicine.
No, let him keep ducking. Xavier is good. Xavier is good. He's good. I ain't messing with him. No. I know when I'm at my match, and that's way beyond my match. No way.
That dude is an expert. He literally is an expert at that stuff, you know? And, you know, he helped make the game. Like, he's a consultant on the 2K games. And because he's such an expert on all the wrestling games, he's the one that ensures that the features fit what the fans want. That's been his role, you know.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Maybe he's the one I need to go talk to in terms of why Bubba's not at the bottom.
Uh-oh. See that, Woods? I done stirred the pot now. Now Devon knows you're the reason why his number is lower than Bubba's, which, you know, we can't have that. Can't have that.
Absolutely not.
How many people ask you about that? Oh, you mad? Are you mad, Devon? Are you mad?
You know, it's funny because I think a lot of people know the joke. It was a joke, and you know, all about me wanting to whoop somebody's ass on 2K. Some people knew it was a joke, but there were some people that didn't, and some people thought I was dead on serious about it. I'm like, dude, it's a video game. I ain't gonna get mad at that. I'll get mad if somebody used my likeness without paying me, but I ain't mad at that.
That's funny. That's funny. People need to know the difference, man. Know the difference between a real issue and just playtime. And it's like, come on, why the hell would a grown man be upset about something like that? Stop it.
Absolutely.
You know? So anyway, Devon, to wrap this up, because I know you got a lot of things to tie up before you head out. What can we expect by the end of WrestleMania? What is your biggest prediction? Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a match. It could just be the event in general. But what's your biggest prediction that you want to put out there right now?
I think when the Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton thing is all said and done, I think it would be pleasantly surprised on the phone call at the end of Randy Orton's comes. I think that whole build up to that match is going to be enjoyable, and it's not going to be what a lot of people expect.
Oh, wait, are you the guy who's on the other end of that phone? Is it you?
Nah, maybe Bubba. He can still wrestle. I ain't wrestling. It might be Bubba.
Spoiler alert.
I think it might be Bubba.
Listen,
I think
the
Bubba
dirt sheet's
Kenny's going to be there.
The dirt sheet's going to jump all over that now. You done started another one now. Okay.
Oh, remember they did say
Dirt
a
sheet's
royal
gonna be all
family in
over.
pro wrestling. Royalty
Oh,
wrestling family. So it could be Bubba. Hey, it could be Spike.
yeah.
It could be Sign Guy Dudley. You never know.
You all are going to be there. Could be the whole family. Whole family might show up. Damn. Okay.
Yep, the whole family.
I love it. Well, anyway, what's the best way everyone? What's the best way everyone can keep up with you, Devon, especially to see you post your content while you're out there and even come see you if they're out there at WrestleMania as well?
Yes, absolutely. Instagram, you can find me on Testify Devon. You can also find me on YouTube at Devon The Duke YouTube channel, which is doing phenomenal. We got a new video coming out this week. I think you guys will enjoy that. We actually did 2 weeks worth of video, so I think you guys will enjoy that. You can also find me on Twitter at Testify Devon. So I'm pretty much all over the place. I'll be at WrestleCon Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Me, Spike, and Bubba as well. We'll be signing autographs, taking pictures, and I'll be selling Dudley T-shirts, the ECW old school tie-dye T-shirts, along with Dudley Boy hats, things like that, to add to the mix. So I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised and enjoy WrestleCon with the Dudley Boys.
I love it. Definitely go out. Come on, man. Support our brother here. He's going to be out there. You want a chance to meet Devon, this is a great time to do it. With Bubba, with Spike, the whole family there getting back together. I love it. As always, folks, Duke Loves Wrestling on Facebook, on X, dukeloveswrestling@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Thank you for all the support that you've given me the past 10 years, and we're going strong. Devon and I, we won 3 awards last year, so hey, let's get another 3 this year or more. Why not? Why not? But it doesn't happen without your support, folks, so we really appreciate it.
Hold on. You know what? I made a mistake. Hold on. That's not the only thing I'm not pleasantly surprised about Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. That's not the only thing I'm going to be pleasantly surprised at. At the end of everything, Cody Rhodes is finally get his hands on the Duke.
I'm not testifying to that.
Yeah, you need to testify to that. Come on. Come on.
Strictly for the culture every day. Stepping style in your unique way. Patterns and colors so divine. All about the perfect line. Be yourself, let your spirit fly. In this fashion, you'll touch the sky. Strictly for the culture, brand so fine. Dress to impress, then show your shine. Strictly for the culture, every day. Step in style in your unique way.
Visit www.strictlyfortheculture.ca.
Backstage whispers and the crowds roar. From matching giants to legends of yore. Devon's wisdom and Duke's keen view. Every episode feels like it's brand new. Devon and the Duke bring the heat. Wrestling tales knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never